Hi everyone. Today what we're going to look at is how I film and record whilst driving. A lot of people have mentioned that I shouldn't be doing it. Well, I'm going to let you into a few of my secrets how I keep it safe. So before I even start a video, I'm usually sat on my path and I get all the camera gear and equipment set up before I actually go, unless there's a particular junction that I need to film out somewhere. In that case, I'll usually leave all the equipment in a bag, park up somewhere and get set up when I'm at location. But as you can see, we're all set up. And what I want to just point out is where I actually get this camera set up, because this is one of the main things that we're going to be dealing with today. If you notice, it's exactly behind the A-pillar, so it doesn't affect my view of the road. I can quite easily move to one side and see around it, and sitting normally, I don't obstruct my view of my mirror whatsoever. Now, what this allows me to do is, while I'm driving, when I'm glancing at my mirror, it looks as though, on occasions, I'm looking at camera. There are occasions where I do look directly at camera, but we're going to go into this a little bit more when I'm driving. So I'm going to finish getting set up, turn all my cameras on, and I'm going to press record before I even move. So, as you can see, we're all recording and we're all sorted. Now, do I often have a script to actually read? Not very often, but when I do, what you'll find is that I'll be parked in somewhere and I usually write all stuff down on like a little sheet of paper, so I've got my bullet points that I know what I'm talking about. But there's no way in the world, as you can see by what I've just shown you, that I would do that while I'm driving. So you can probably get an idea from the different videos I do how I work differently. So I've got a camera set up here over my shoulder, which is going to look at the one ahead, or the road ahead, and we've got this one over my shoulder. And you can cut between the different cameras depending on what's happening and what's going on. But the key for today is how I find time to glance at the camera. People say that I should be keeping my eyes on the road, and you're absolutely right. But I'm going to get driving and just talk about a few things. So we're off and driving. Maybe I'm going to be talking about a particular subject. I need to find time to actually look at the camera, and I'm not going to do it for very long. Here, no in the world I'm going to look at the camera because I need to watch my mirrors and I need to keep an eye on the lights. Now risk is zero, I could have a little look. So that's the simple process that I go through when I'm actually talking to camera. Now again, nothing happening, I could glance. But if something happens up ahead that requires full attention, there's no way in the world that I actually look at the camera. I've often done it in many videos as well, where I actually stop talking as well, although talking and driving is a skill that driving instructors are really, really good at. It's what we do on a daily basis. We have to be talking to our pupil, and finding time to talk at the correct time is one of the skills that driving instructors have to have. Observational work from driving instructors is also something that I'd like to talk about. It's all clear, glance at the camera. Observational skills, are things that driving instructors obviously have to be very good at. Now, I'm not going to look at the camera, there's too much going on. These lights are probably going to change as well, so my anticipation also helps me. Now I can look at the camera because I know I'm doing that stop and nothing else was going on. So, ambulance behind. Where's it going? All good. So, perfect opportunity, for me to prove what I'm talking about. Did I look at the camera then? No. Concentrated on what's happening and what's going on. Going back to what I was saying about the observational skills, driving instructors are much better than people give them credit for. What we need to be doing is watching our pupil probably 70% of the time to ensure what the pupil is doing is correct. In that 30% that's left over, we need to be taking in probably 3 times as much as the normal person would do, looking 100% of the time, because we've got to anticipate for that novice driver sat in this seat as well. So the observational skills from driving instructors are usually, not all the time, but usually way beyond the average person can comprehend. So looking at the camera occasionally when I find the correct time is zero risk totally and whatsoever. There are many YouTubers who constantly talk to camera and even hold their camera while they're driving. Well, that's ludicrous. But I've worked out a way to do it safely, and there's no way in the world that I would do anything other than doing it safely. So let's just look at the road ahead. I've got a car that's emerging on the left, looking around. There's no way in the world that I would look at the camera just yet. I might be able to have a little look now because of the risk of all around, but again, I'm just watching this van to my right, the one behind's parked in again, another lull. I could look at the camera, and it's no different than the skill you should be applying when checking mirrors. Do you check your mirrors just as and when, or do you actually check your mirrors when it's safe to check your mirrors as well? Because there are certain times when checking the mirrors actually isn't good, when your attention needs to be on something else. So I'm not looking at camera, I'm just watching the red one and this lady. Now I'm happy with the red one, I could have a look at the camera. So when the people in the comments are saying you should be paying full attention on the road, you honestly don't give me the credit that I probably deserve. Now, I'm not after a pat on the back, it's just the skills that, as I've said, we need as a driving instructor. So same thing happened there. I even paused what I was saying so I could concentrate on the lights. I didn't look at the camera, but the moment they changed, I knew where everything was around. You can have a little glance across. While I'm sat here as well, people say that I'm looking at the camera too much. Well, if I'm observing and watching and know the sequence of lights and can anticipate it perfectly, I know that I'm not going to be going for a while. I'm watching these flow through, so I could have a stare at the camera for a number of seconds. But now there's a gap in the traffic and they're stopping, we're going to be going soon, so I'm not going to be looking at camera now. So my observational skills are honestly at a level where I can do this comfortably, and like I said, it's just like a mirror check. Now I hope that's been useful to everyone. I know there's a majority of my viewers, hang on a sec, I know there's a majority of my viewers who will understand exactly what I'm doing and when and why, but there are a number of comments, especially recently, regarding this, so it's that's made me go off and do this video today. So I hope it's been useful. I hope it explains how I go about doing things and ensuring things are safe. Like I've said, that there are plenty of YouTubers that I see test driving performance cars down country roads, obviously breaking speed limits, and they're constantly looking at cameras, and that's not safe. So it takes a lot of thought and planning and skill to do this safely. So don't just strap a camera in your car and start talking to it as you're driving. You've got to think about these things that I've talked about today. Would I advise many people to even try and do it? No, your attention should be on the road. But just the lasting point is, if I can talk to and look at a pupil in my daily job, this camera is effectively my pupil. Take care, everyone. Keep safe. I'll see you soon.